بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
والنجم إذا هوى ما ضل صاحبكم وما غوى
إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون صدق الله العظيم. In the previous session, we were talking about the signs of Iman. What are some of the signs of our Iman? Any person that believes in Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what major difference this person should expect in his life between the present and the past? If someone would ask us that you're a Muslim, so what's the difference between you and me? How would we explain that difference? How would we explain what Iman is doing for me? How do I know that Iman have really got into my heart? As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Quran, that there are a lot of people who claim it, but out of them there are many who don't have it. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا بِاللَّهِ وَبِالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Among people there are those who say we believe in Allah in the last day. Allah says وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. In reality they are not believers. Some people came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. In Surah Al-Hujurat, قالت الأعراب آمنا. They came, Ya Muhammad, we are mu'mineen, آمنا. We have accepted the Iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قُلْ لَمْ تُؤْمِنُوا. Say, no, you have not become mu'min yet. وَلَكِنْ قُولُوا وَاسْلَمْنَا. Say, yeah, we have become Muslims, but not mu'min. Once Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam went up on the minbar and he gave a talk that was يا معشر من آمن بلسانه ولم يفض الإيمان إلى قلبه. O those, he's in his masjid, giving this talk in his masjid. O those who have accepted this Islam only as a word of a tongue, but Iman have not entered into your heart. لا تؤذوا المؤمنين. Don't hurt the feelings of the people of Iman. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا عَوْرَاتَهُمْ. And don't run after their mistakes and their faults. What is he telling us? There are certain things that we have to see. We have not adopted these things. That simply means is only a word of mouth. Iman have not got into the heart yet. How would I know myself? How would I judge myself? How would I make sure that I got the Iman into my heart? It is that Iman that is acceptable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it on the day of Qiyamah as a source of my najah, to be saved from the adhab of the akhirah. The first sign we talked about was connecting ourselves to the deen through the knowledge of deen. Take it this way. A person accepted Islam. After taking the Shahada, didn't study anything about Islam, didn't learn anything about Islam. So this person doesn't know how to do the wudu, doesn't know how to perform the salah, doesn't know how to keep the fast, doesn't know how to perform any of the ibadat to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doesn't know the ruling about any of these things. What would we say about this person's iman? We all understand that. okay, he took the shahada, inshallah, hopefully someday it may help him, but this is not the deen that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam introduced. Now there is another person who comes and he learns just wudu and salah, doesn't go any further. Of course, he is stuck at that level. And again, this is not something that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam expected from his ummah. So now we need to look at our situation. Where do we stand with that? How far have we got with our knowledge of deen in order to be able to practice it properly? Because talab al-ilmi faridah, seeking the knowledge is fard. Without that, we cannot practice our deen. And we talked briefly about it last week, and we don't want to spend too much time in each of these signs, but the one that we need to talk about today, although my intention was to just have one Jum'ah for each of these signs, so hopefully we can cover some good number of signs in few months, but this topic, as I started thinking about it, I thought it needs some more detail. And it needs more than one Jum'ah for sure. Because of the importance of the topic, at the same time, because of the need in our society in the present time. And that is the second sign of Iman that we want to talk about, al-rada bil-qada. To be pleased with whatever Allah has predestined for us. To be pleased with the qada and qadr. Not to complain about the qada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we look into this, this is a very detailed topic. But at the same time, we see ourselves in a situation where every person, every human being in this life has to go through ups and downs in life. Some of us, when we look at our children, we say, if it was my choice, I would make my children do this, but they didn't go by my choice. So your children are not what you would like to see in them. Looking at the spouse after 40 years of marriage, you may think, if it was my choice, I would not be in this situation. This is part of the ups and downs of life, not necessarily that we are right in these decisions or in these understandings, but how do we behave in this situation? And these are major issues that I just pointed out. Otherwise, remember, rada bil qada, which means to be pleased with the qada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is something that each and every human being, pay attention, each and every human being gets tested with it on daily basis. Every day we get tested with the rada bil qada. Some ups and downs are always there in our lives. There is always something that we don't like. We don't want to see it happening, but it's happening. It's not in our control. If it was in my control, I would say the weather would not have been the way it is today. If it was up to me, certain people that are not here, I will make sure that they would be here. There are so many things that I could have done them differently if it was under my control. Without going into too much detail of the hardships and difficulties of life, and every person has different scenarios, different situations, let's first thing try to understand what is this qada and qadr. A lot of people are confused even about the qada and qadr. What is this qada and qadr? We say, predestined by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then all of a sudden someone comes and says, if everything is predestined, then why are you doing what you're doing? Then why are you even trying? Whatever Allah wills, it was going to happen. And a lot of people then when it comes to practicing the deen, they would put it on the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh, if Allah wants, I will wake up for Fajr. If Allah wants, I will pray. If Allah wants, I will do something for my deen. But what happens to this part of Iman when it comes to earning our livelihood? Why doesn't this person stay home and say, if Allah wants, my sisters will come home, I don't need to go to work, I'm going to resign, I'm going to give up my work, I'm stopping everything, because if Allah wants, I will get whatever I want at my home. No, we don't put it in that direction, but when it comes to deen, if Allah wants, I will do it. That simply means this person really doesn't believe that it's through the qada and qadar. He understands I have to do something. But finding ourselves an excuse for not doing it. Otherwise, I'm trying for my dunya, I will try for my akhirah too. So what is this qada and qadar? Remember, qada, whatever is predestined, we believe in it as part of our iman. That Allah knows everything. He ordered the pen to write, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, أَوَّلُ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ الْقَلَمِ. The first thing Allah created was the pen. And said to the pen, write, and the pen wrote everything. Okay? So Allah knows everything. When we believe in this, what does that mean? We believe in Allah's knowledge. We believe in Allah's knowledge. We believe that Allah knows all of this. Simple question. If Allah didn't know it, would you do something different? If Allah didn't know it, God forbid, wa'iyaz billah. Just like people who believe no, Allah doesn't know anything. They have no iman, so they don't have no iman in Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they don't have any iman in the ilm of Allah. Just like those who worship idols, okay, this idol doesn't know my future. If Allah didn't know it, if God didn't know it, how would that be different in our life? How would that affect us? No way. So, qada is the ilm of Allah, is the knowledge of Allah. We believe Allah knows everything. Because that has to be part of God's attribute that He is all-knowing. He is al-alim. He is all-knowing. But that does not affect what I'm doing in any way, because He gave me the choice and asked me to choose the right thing and stay away from the wrong. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. Allah says, I informed you of what is good and what is bad. Successful are those who would purify their nafs and choose the right things. And losers are those who do not purify their hearts and their desires, and they choose the wrong things. It's their choice. It's the ilm of Allah. It is the knowledge of Allah. By Allah knowing it, I'm not forced to do it. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. He gave me my choice to choose. He knows what I'm choosing. That doesn't make no difference. Sometimes the teacher tells the student, you're going to fail. Can the student file a claim against the teacher after failing that I failed because my teacher knew I would fail? Just tell me. Can anyone file the case in any court in the world saying that I failed because he told me I will fail, or because he knew I will fail? Or after the exam, when he went to the teacher, he said, I failed. He said, I knew from before you would fail. So he said, okay, I'm going to file a report against you because you knew from before I would fail. This is why I failed. No, you didn't fail because he knew it. He knew it because he knows you. He knows what you're doing. How are you studying? He knows that. This is why he knew. With human beings, he could have been wrong too. With Allah, it's never wrong. But what does Allah know about me? I don't know. So I'm supposed to do what I'm ordered to do. Just based on Allah's knowledge, Allah knows what I'm going to do, so I'm not going to do anything. No. That doesn't have no effect on me. Allah knows it, that's fine. It's good. He knows it. But he wants me to do what I'm supposed to do. I would give a normal, simple example. For even a person who has any objection about this will understand it. You see a person driving the car, going down the hill. He's going down the hill. Two people are watching him. One happens to be his brother. The other person says to his brother, he says, no, he's going to have a car accident and he may die. And next moment, boom, he had a car accident and he died. So his brother wants, and he goes and he files a case against this person. He says, my brother died because this person said that my brother will die. He had an accident because this person said that he will have an accident. This is why my brother had the accident. Did his brother die because he said it? Did he die? Did he have an accident because this person said that he's going to have an accident? No. This person said it because he has all the knowledge there, all the information together, that the car, he knew this car has no brakes. And you see the speed is going up. And he sees another car in front of him. So he's saying, putting all of this two and two together, he says, you know, the result is 4, and he's going to have an accident. So he had the accident because of his own action, not because he knew it. Same thing. We do whatever we want, it's because this is what we choose to do, not because Allah knows what we are going to do. So now, if we put the qada in simple words, we will see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said it because He knew it. But I don't do it because He knew it. I don't do it because He knew it. He said it because He knew it. This is qada. So qada is the name of Allah's ilm. This is in simple words, qada is the name of the ilm of Allah. Allah's knowledge. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows it. But we cannot just depend on that. Someone is going on a direction. Now, you have a choice of leaving the masjid through this door or that door. So this person says, you know, I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qada is that I should leave the masjid through that door, but I'm going to leave through this door. And then he leaves through this door. What was written for him? Allah knew about him that he's going to leave through this door. It's only Allah's knowledge. Allah's knowledge never goes wrong, but we are not forced because of that knowledge of Allah. As I said, God forbid, if there was no one to know what you would you do anything different? No, still you would do whatever you do. So it's not to force us. It's not to take our choice away from us. It's only knowing what's happening. You tell me, a lot of times we know our children, so we tell them, you know, this, I know this is what you're going to do. I'm telling you to do this, but I know that you won't do this. It's their choice. But you know your children enough to tell them, I'm advising you. I know you're not going to accept my advice, but I'm telling you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows us more than we know our children. This is the ilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now when we say al-rida bil-qada, which means to be pleased with the qada of Allah, something happens in our life that we don't like. We don't like to see these things happening in life. There are two ways to deal with it. One is you keep on complaining. And you always blame others for the wrong that is happening in your life. The other is you deal with it very patiently and you trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, okay, if this happened to me already, I tried not to do it. I tried not to get into the situation, but as I'm in it now, I'm going to be pleased with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qada. Whatever Allah wants for me, I'm pleased with that. Of course, things that are happening, as I said, we don't run the world. Either I'm pleased with the weather the way it is because my Rabb chose it for everyone, I'm going to accept it the way it is. I'll just be prepared for it. The other is why I keep on complaining. The weather is bad, I'm not leaving home, I'm not coming out, I'm not doing anything. That complaining is not going to make me any better or change the weather and make it better. And it will not give me control over this weather in future, that okay, in future I will control the weather. It's not going to do none of that. So the best choice for me is to be pleased after seeing things that are out of my control happening in ways that I'm not happy with. Be pleased with it. Be happy with it. Accept it the way it is. This is rida bil qada. You fell while you were walking. Very simple example. You fell while you were walking. What is the first thing the person does? Look around. No one is watching. Just get up and start walking quickly. No one saw me. Now you look around and someone was looking at you. Generally, what is the reaction? The people that you will smile to that person, you will get up, pretend that I didn't get hurt, so you don't even try to massage your back. No, I didn't get hurt. I'm okay, brother. Alhamdulillah. Now, repeat the same situation. You are in your home. There was something on the floor, you tripped. Maybe a vacuum cleaner, maybe a plate or something, and you tripped over it and you fell. Who put the plate here? Who kept it over here? I need to find out right now, and regardless who that person is, you're going to blow up on that person. This is not rida bil qada. See? Now you're blowing up for what? Something already happened? Or something is going to happen. If it was going to happen, yes, you can prevent it, try your best to stop it, but now it happened. You're in rush. You went to the traffic light, it's red. Just it got red while when you came to the traffic light. You stop there. Bismillah, Bismillah, Bismillah. Now, same rush, you're leaving home, and your wife says, just a minute, I want to tell you, I don't have no time for you. See? Why are you stopped at the red light then? You may spend more time on the red light than you're spending over here with her, but over here, you can take your frustration out. I can get it out on someone. So you want to use that opportunity of taking it off on people. It's part of our iman, where you don't react to your anger, frustration. You give yourself time to think and see what is happening over there. How could I make it better in future? Is it by yelling? Is it by shouting? Is it by punishing? Or is it by changing the situation in a humble, nice, beautiful manner? It's something, as I said, every human being gets tested with this every day. And this is why it's important for us to learn this thing. Insha'Allah, we will continue talking about this. And what Quran and Hadith tell us about it. How to build that quality within ourselves that we be pleased with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees. And we always accept it.
مولاي صل وسلم